An incredible moment on the big stage for a former Pilot catcher. The 2002 championship women's soccer team is honored, and we sit down with the women's soccer player who is spearheading off-the-field initiatives after a season-ending injury. Portside of the Pilots is coming up now. Welcome to another weekly edition of Portside of the Pilots. I'm your host, Adam Lindman. We start tonight with what makes sports great. Special moments that bring joy to viewers and rewards for those who work so hard. Take, for example, former Pilot catcher Rocky Gale. A four-year starter behind the plate for the Pilots, Gale was drafted in the 24th round of the 2010 draft by the San Diego Padres. His pro career has consisted of 624 games in the minor leagues, where he hit just 11 home runs. An elite defensive catcher, he was called up and made his big league debut late in 2015 for a brief 10-game stint with the Padres. Gale was recalled by San Diego last week, and making his first start of the season, he had one of those special moments.
Full count here to Rocky Gale. Short lead at first base, and a drive to deep left field. This is back towards the Western Metal Supply Company, and it is gone! Rocky Gale with a two-run home run can smile his way all the way around the bases. He just hit a two-run home run in the big leagues, and with one swing of the bat ties the game. First major league home run for Rocky Gale.
I just couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was just surprised. You know, kind of just battling there and just got it up in the air on the pull side. I don't know. I think I was kind of screeching. I'm glad I didn't have a microphone on me. I mean, like you said, it was a long at bat, and I really was just enjoying the moment.
How about that smile?
That's great. So happy for Rocky.
Groundbreaking for the new Dundon Berchtold Hall was celebrated on campus last week as University President Father Mark Poorman was joined by Amy Dundon Berchtold and Jim Berchtold, the lead donors for the new 63,000 square foot academic building.
This is genuinely a hope-filled occasion. Dundon Berchtold Hall is a critical step in the university's commitment to providing the best possible education for our students. One that's holistic and intellectually rigorous and character-focused and grounded in faith.
University of Portland and the West Coast Conference hosted a regional workshop with the Alliance of Women's Coaches last week. Coaches and administrators from around the Pacific Northwest gathered to receive insight on how to reach the next level in their profession.
We were incredibly grateful to work with the Alliance of Women's Coaches and the WCC to put on a workshop like this, both for our coaches here at UP and for women coaches in the Portland area. We've never done something like this in Portland, and to have an opportunity to do a professional development seminar like this and provide really good advice to our coaches as they're looking for next steps in their career is a really fun thing.
As athletic directors, we really have two goals with staff. You know, one is to manage and get the most out of your staff, and two is to get them where they want to go. And if we see a job that comes open that might fit that person, I'm not shy to put that in front of them, whether that be a coach or a staff member, because that's, at the end of the day, you're looking to develop people.
What we're doing here today is we're trying to find ways to continue to keep women engaged in college athletics, specifically in the coaching. It's really important for us as a conference to be a leader in this area. I hope they leave recognizing that the connections you have both with your student athletes all the way up to your administrators, that's really going to allow them to move forward in their careers.
This is a really great chance for you to learn and reflect on your presentation and your materials. And my hope is that you leave here today, whether you're looking for a job or not, look at what you've done. Look at the last thing you submitted. Look at it in a new light, and then the next time a search comes around, you're going to be ready for it, and you're going to knock it out of the park.
The Portland volleyball team opened WCC play at home last week, and despite missing 2 key starters due to injuries, the Pilots split a homestand with Pacific and St. Mary's. Head coach Brent Crouch liked what he saw from some newcomers who were thrust into key roles against tough competition.
Izzy and Cassidy both started, both freshmen. This is really the first meaningful action Izzy has had in a year and a half after her ACL tear. She's still not fully back, but we can get a glimpse that there's light at the end of the tunnel with the way she played today. And it was great to see Cassidy do a nice job on the left side in a tough position. And it was just really neat. We had 5 new starters out there today from last year, and to see them play the way they did I'm really excited for them.
The Pilot women's soccer team battled Northwest rival Seattle University to a 1-1 draw on Friday night in Seattle. Sophomore Larkin Russell tallied Portland's equalizer in the 63rd minute, and the Pilots threatened with numerous chances late, but settled for the tie. And coming up next, we visit with women's soccer senior Jess Kennedy, who has taken on a new role with the team after an injury cut her season short. You're watching Portside of the Pilots on CSN. Welcome back to Portside of the Pilots. We're joined now by senior midfielder from the women's soccer team, Jess Kennedy. Jess, thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Now, it's one of the unfortunate realities of sports, and unfortunately something you know a lot about, injuries. Talk about your current injury.
Currently, I am going through my 4th ACL tear and 3rd one here at the university. The team got together this summer when we do our summer workouts, and we were playing in a pickup game and just took a wrong step, fell over, knew immediately what it was, and anyone who's gone through an ACL can attest to that fact, that you definitely know when it's happened. As a senior, you didn't play any games this year, so there was a chance to come back next year after a rehab process. You coming back next year? I am planning to come back next year, yes. That's in the plans, just went through the works today, so I'm actually very excited about it, to be able to put the jersey on one more time and actually finish my career the way that I wanted to. Very nice. So you obviously stay busy, student athlete, going through rehab, you have a job, but you're also heavily involved in community service. Talk about the project you're currently spearheading with your teammates. So every year the team does a community service project, and this year the seniors sat down and really thought about what we wanted to do, and so we came up with breast cancer awareness, and since it is a whole month, we get to actually make it happen on campus, and so it's in the works. There's so many different avenues behind it, but I've kind of taken on the role of connecting all these different groups on campus to our team. So I have gotten a group of 30 girls from all the various dorms together who wanted to be a part of this, who are strong, passionate, beautiful people that just wanted to connect with us on breast cancer. And then we've connected Portland Gear, which is a awesome local brand, and met with Marcus, and he was like, sure, whatever you need from me, let's do it. So him and Bree Miyama worked on a t-shirt, and that t-shirt will be sold at all of our games, which are 5, which is crazy, and for 25 bucks. All proceeds will be donated to American Cancer Society, which is the foundation that our team picked. And we actually met with them today, and it was a beautiful meeting. There's so many different avenues of this whole thing, so it's kind of been really cool to be the front leader of that and be able to talk to these girls and introduce them to the team. I had all 50 girls over to my house to make these ribbons and eat snacks and talk about whatever. So it's been bigger for me than I think people realize, and bigger for me to have this role this year where it isn't soccer related. So I get to kind of build, you know, my personality and what I find like is a part of me. So it's bigger than people will think it is. So I'm hoping that it'll turn out the way that I want it to. But the team has been awesome. Whatever I need, they're like, let me know so I can help you. They've been just great. And Villa is so on board. We're gonna just make campus pink this October, so it's really cool. So Jess, every team has them. I'm sure you guys are no different. Nicknames. Give us some of the best nicknames on the team and maybe some of the worst. I will start with the worst because it doesn't make any sense to me. Rachel Lusby, one of our goalkeepers, was named Rhonda, and I'm not entirely sure where that came from. Her Instagram is "My name is not Rhonda." That's probably the worst one. Another one that was given, because we have 2 Hannahs on the team, was Griff, because her last name's Griffiths Boston. I refuse to call her that name because I know her as Hannah. Little Rachel, big Rachel, you know, just little Ellie, big Ellie, and that's as good as it gets for our team.
All right. How about the funniest person on your team?
Believe it or not, I think that Rachel Kaw is incredibly funny. She's probably the quietest person you will meet first on, but once you get to know her, she has very sarcastic remarks, and I love it.
Nice. Most intense?
Kimberly Haslett. Kimberly Haslett, if you don't hear her on the field because Villa is drumming, then I'm surprised because that girl screams.
Wow. And finally, you're going on Family Feud. You get to pick 4 of your teammates to go with you. Who's on your Family Feud team?
Madeline Deeker, for sure. She's a life full of knowledge. I would pick Bree also, Carly Becker, and how many more do I have? 2?
I wasn't even counting. Maybe 1.
1? Okay. Last person, Ellie Walker.
Perfect. That actually brings us to our last question. I know it's still a ways off, but any post-graduation plans?
You know, there's so many different options. Since I will be returning, I'll be graduating in December as a, 2019. Every soccer player wants to enter the draft, so I'm hoping to do that, whether that's here in the United States or overseas. But ultimately, I want to travel. And whether my talents take me there or not is what I want to do, and then hopefully land in Portland again and use my degree for something.
Absolutely. Yeah. Jess Kennedy, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we highlight the unique soccer experience here at the University of Portland from the perspective of students. Also, the 2002 Women's Soccer National Championship team is inducted into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame. For anyone who has ventured to Merlo Field for a soccer match, you might have noticed it isn't your typical college soccer environment. Portland led the nation in average attendance for 10 straight years, and the student section often overflows with passionate and knowledgeable fans. The tradition has passed from one class to the next, and it gives UP a true and unique home field advantage.
We have the best fans in the country, without question.
The best fans in the country, so it's great.
There's no other school that does what we do. We put on a show every weekend, a full display of our passion.
The soccer experience is really unique here at UP.
Yeah! Yeah!
We don't have an American football team, so we've kind of translated that American football aspect and made it our soccer season.
This is an every week thing, day in, day out. You live it, you breathe it, you sleep it. It's what we do here. It's the bread and butter of the school.
Opening night of the 2017 season, and of course there's a TIFO. Joe, where else in the country do you see this at a collegiate soccer game?
I can't say, having been to a number of fields, that you see anything like this, and really the atmosphere it's second to none.
It gets very crowded, which is awesome when the whole fence is lined up with students and I can barely even talk to the drummers. That's awesome.
It's basically just the community of it. Everybody's coming together, setting aside, even if some people don't really like soccer, they like just being around their friends and coming out together, not just for soccer, but just to cheer on our fellow friends, our family. It's something special.
We have the best fans in the whole country, and this is what? Let's go!
First, we're excited about being in community with each other, and this is what we do. And then the march over is getting excited. This is what we're doing for the team.
One of the best parts about soccer games, honestly, is lighting off that smoke bomb. I'm sure when opposing teams are warming up on the goal that faces us and they hear all these drums and smoke just going up in the air, it's probably pretty intimidating, especially in a college atmosphere where they don't ever see that.
It just feels the community feel again. It's the family. It's not like I'm just marching in, it's we are marching in together, and it's a special feeling for sure.
I live with a lot of the women's soccer players, and they're all really great people, and it's really cool to have them in the dorms and to live with them and then get to see them on the field. They support us in our halls, and now it's our turn to support them on the field.
It's a bond, but it's also we're connected. I may not be on the field, but I like to think I'm a part of soccer at UP. Some way or another, being crazy on the sidelines. Portland, whether you have the Thorns, you have the Timbers. I'd say Portland's a soccer place, and I'm glad I'm here.
The one person I think of always is Ray Ortiz. Every time he goes out there to the field, it's just like an electric feeling. It feels like I'm playing FIFA. He's dancing around. It's just like when he scores a goal or something, it's just like the next day I see him, it's just, man, that was awesome.
Ortiz to the outside of the foot, curls it in. Ray Ortiz.
We really take it to heart, and it's really personal to us to make sure that our players know how much we care about them. Home field advantage is a very real thing, and we want to make sure that they have the best advantage possible.
Gorgeous tifo up there above the student section. Nice work there by Villa.
College can be stressful at times, and so I hope it's a time that people can come out and just relax and just have fun, be themselves, be wild, be crazy, do something different. I mean, if you've never painted up, paint yourself up, like paint your whole body, like go wild. It's something where you can be with your fellow students, fellow friends, family. It's something where everybody just can come together and just have a lot of fun.
The 2002 UP women's soccer team helped build Soccer City, USA by claiming the school's first NCAA championship. The team joined some elite company last week as they were inducted into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
To be inducted into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame just kind of really rings true to my heart, and it's such an honor for it to be that team, and to see Clarina here accepting the award on behalf of Clive, because he made this possible for all of us and really brought soccer to Portland, and Portland is now Soccer City, USA, so it's just kind of a perfect night to kind of culminate everything Clive did.
I think what made it the most special is that it wasn't about us, the players. We were extremely determined, and we knew we were playing for a higher purpose because everybody wanted to win that championship for Clive.
Clive, when I was recruited at the University of Portland, he promised 3 things. 1 was a great education, 2 was he would make me a better soccer player, and then the 3rd was he would help me to become a better person. In my career, and in any alumni's career, we can all walk out the door and we can all help teach people in life. And he did that for me and for everyone, and that's what made him so special.
For us, for our class, the seniors, it was redemption. We all came because we wanted to be a part of the group that was before us. The Frenchies, the Styles, the Eaters, the McMillans, the Tiff. We all wanted to do something for them as well to say thank you.
I still feel like a freshman when I get together with these group of girls. They're all phenomenal, and so reconnecting, I think it brings back all those really cool memories, and it was just such a high energy team for us as freshmen, so I just remember all those little things.
Day in and day out, we just lived for each other. Everything we did was for each other, was for Clive, and it's just a big part of the program. All the alumni built the road before us, and it's the tradition never dies.
I think Portland really prided itself on creating a family between the staff, the alumni, the coaches, and the current team, and I think that's really what brought us together.
You are now, all of you, inducted in the State of Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
Men's tennis senior Mike Pervilarakis is the reigning WCC Player of the Year after helping the Pilots claim their first ever league title last spring. His success earned him an invite to last weekend's prestigious Oracle ITA Masters tournament, where he defeated 2 nationally ranked players. Pervilarakis and teammate Machu Garcia will now head to another elite tournament, the ITA All-American Championships in Tulsa, Oklahoma next week, where more opportunities against the nation's best await.
It's very important for me to have these 2 ranked wins at the start of the year, because my goal is at the end of the year to play the NCAAs. In Tulsa, it's an honor to be there. It's like the best college players of the country. We have a good chance of beating some good teams and even creating a ranking on the doubles and making to the NCAAs as a doubles team too.
I think this weekend he belongs. They both belong. They should, Mike should be in the main draw. He beat the 33rd guy in the country first round of this tournament. It's really nice to be there, but they belong. They're going to go there and hopefully prove that.
Yay, Portland.
The women's tennis team will feature a young roster that includes 3 freshmen, 3 sophomores, and a junior. Despite the youth, 4 players returned for head coach Susie Campbell. They were key contributors to the lineup a year ago. The team began training this week and will look forward to 3 fall tournaments in preparation for the spring schedule.
Very excited to be back. We had tons of energy today. We have some new faces out on these new courts, and it really brought a lot of energy. Excited for the season. Once again, a very, very young team, younger than last year, and so we just need to get to know these players and know how to work with them and see them in competitive situations.
Hoping to get just experience. I know we're going to be playing good teams, so it's going to be good preparation for the spring season.
Looking ahead to upcoming events, the Pilot women's soccer team will open WCC play on the road this weekend in the Bay Area. Portland visits St. Mary's on Friday at 3:30 p.m. and then Pacific on Sunday at 1 p.m. The Pilot volleyball team will also hit the road this week for a pair of WCC matches. Portland will play at San Francisco on Thursday night at 7 p.m. and then visit Santa Clara on Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Men's soccer will play a pair of top 10 nationally ranked opponents over the next 5 days. The Pilots will first host a tough home match against undefeated and number 9 Western Michigan on Friday at 7 p.m. The Broncos are 9-0-1 on the season and have outscored opponents by a 21-6 margin. Portland will then travel to number 10 Virginia on Monday before opening WCC play October 7th against Pacific at Merlo Field. And finally, the cross-country teams will be in action this Friday at the Bill Dellinger Invitational in Springfield, Oregon. The Pilot men are ranked 18th nationally, while the women are receiving votes in the latest coaches poll. And that will do it for this episode of Portside of the Pilots. We'll see you next time.